Yo, what's up, everyone? Alex here from Computer Headquarters, and today is my birthday. So, you know what I'm gonna do on my birthday? I'm gonna make you guys a video because I love you guys so much. Um, so this is a video regarding crafting, how to craft the gloves of my Tri-Charge Stacking Frenzy of Onslaught Slayer. Made a bunch of videos about that character of this league. He's insanely strong. He's based on the similar idea that I did last league in Settlers, and I think we ended up being at about 1.2 billion damage on the character. Um, so the gloves I'm wearing on that character are these right here. They're Warlock gloves with just shy of 300 ES, a little bit of int, and then more importantly, the most important thing here is non-vol strike skills target 2 additional nearby enemies. And we've got some attack speed, and we've got attack speed while focused, right? So bunch of things that we want. Now, are these the best gloves in the world? No, but they're really good. And for some people are like, well, don't you want Eldritch Implicits? The whole reason why we don't have Eldritch Implicits is because of Bound by Destiny. If you have 6 Crusader items on, you get an extra power charge, which is huge on this build. And I also have another thing going on with Hunter. So in Hunter is where you get the non-ball strike skills target additional nearby enemies, which is usually something you get on your Eldritch Implicit. So you're still able to get it. You lose a prefix, so you lose energy shield, but you get the power charge. So trust me, you want that power charge. It's worth losing a little bit of energy shield. So I've had a couple of different people ask me how to craft these gloves, and I've talked to my buddy David, who actually crafted this pair for me, about the process, and we actually came up with what I think is an even better process. And we kind of have like 3 different levels of cost associated with this, and we're going to start with the basics about what you're going to do here, how much things cost, what you need to understand. And I've got a bunch of tabs open on a browser here, so let's pull that open. Um, so let's start here on PoE DB. This is just going to be, I'm not a master crafter, but I feel like every league that I play, I learn a little bit more. I'm a little bit more, and my buddy David keeps kind of like teaching me a little bit more. So the more he teaches me, the more I remember, and I've learned to use this website a lot. This is a great website, and I'm looking at gloves. I guess you know what? Why don't I just start like fresh so you can train you too? So modifiers. We're gonna go to modifiers. We're gonna gloves, and we're doing int gloves because they're warlock gloves. We want as much ES as possible. So gloves int, right? And here we are. So this is where I was before. What we want to do is we want to figure out which item level minimum we need for the gloves we want to craft. So what are the things we would like in a perfect world, or the things that we'd be happy with? Int would be pretty good. That requires 82 for T1 int. What else? Attack speed is great. If we hit T1 attack speed, only 76. That's easy to get. Accuracy would be really good for our build. 85. 85 is pretty high. And then maybe your resistance wouldn't be bad. Any resistance, you can always reforge T1 resistance at the harvest bench, so 84. And then also, if we were able to get a prefix, a good prefix, in addition to our prefix that we're getting, our prefixes that we're aiming for, which is going to be one from a deafening essence of woe, so flat ES, and then our non-vol strike skill prefix we've already talked about, our hunter mod. Percent energy shield is the next best thing, and 84 is the minimum for T1. So we don't want anything less than 84. That's pretty much for sure. Now, if you really want to try to somehow get T1 accuracy into this build, you can, and then you need to get 85. But I don't think, now that I've spent a lot of time working on this video before, I've actually, this is the second time I'm making it, and I've crafted a couple pairs of gloves already for in the process. So I don't think you're probably going to get accuracy. But you could really, if you're going to spend a lot of money on this, like a couple hundred div, maybe you're going to want that accuracy. Okay, but we're fishing for 84s. Okay, so Warlock gloves. This is a search that I'm going to put into the description for you guys, so you have a little shortcut ready for you. And so this is Warlock gloves. This is level 84 or higher, and I don't have quality checked here. They're not fractured, they're not mirrored, they're not corrupted. Base percentile is 100 and has influences. I found that this is a shortcut to save money. So this is the cheapest pair of gloves you could get. The alternative to be the cheapest pair is if you don't get one with influence and you you just buy, you know, whatever perfect base percentile for 10. It's 10C. I'll just show you that. Okay, so I go here, I'll take that off. Base percentile perfect 83 roll. We'll see that they're like 10C, right? So 10C, 10C, 10C. Now, if we're gonna go buy a exalted orb to start to put influence, let's go to Faustus. The two cheapest, typically, sorry, let me flip this. The two cheapest are Shaper Exalted. And so that one is no stock. Huh. That's interesting. I have never seen that. Okay. Or so Shaper or Elder Exalted Orb. So a little bit more than a div, right, guys? So if it's more than a div, and you still would have to go to the harvest bench and re-roll it from Elder to Crusader or Hunter, then if you can get that same pair of gloves with the right influence on it already, then that'd be cheaper. So that's kind of what I'm trying to point out here. So we're going to go back to this, and we can see that there are people that have Crusader gloves right here. Perfect 83. This guy's even got item level 86. I don't know if that will help you. This guy's got an 85, but these are Crusader. These are one div. There's Hunter here ready to go. Any of those things, Hunter or Crusader, work just the same for you. Now, you could also fish. Is there someone here selling like 24? Yeah, 24%. But these are what you don't want to do is you don't want to buy a pair of gloves like this. Like this guy selling these for 10C. That's a huge mistake because these are already dual influenced and they're not the influences you want. You want to get just single influence in one of them, whether it's Crusader or Hunter. So let's just buy this pair right here, assuming that the guy will take the trade. And we will hit the next guy here and the next guy here. And I'm sure one of them will take the trade. I say I'm sure, and surprisingly, no one's taking a trade. So now we're going to go, I'm going to hit these Hunter guys. One div here. Well, I'm just going to hit all these guys at one div because, oh, here we go. Space Dan. Thank you, Space Dan. So as a reminder, the other thing, if like, let's say that you hit a bunch of people like that and no one got back to you for a trade, the next cheapest way to do it, because you don't want to go up to like 1.5 or 2 div, you want to go to buy a Elder Exalted Orb, and then hit it, give it the influence, go to the harvest bench here, throw it in the harvest bench, do influence, and then randomizes the influence, and then you will re-roll it until you hit either Crusader or Hunter. Either one of them is fine. Okay, so now you have your base, right? And I'm going to quality these up before I forget. Again, this is the cheap version. I forgot to say this earlier. The cheap version of the gloves, I'm estimating it to cost around 45 divine. You could get way luckier, but 45 divine is what you're probably going to spend on the cheap version of these gloves. I want to tell you that up front because if you only have 20 div in your bank, don't even start trying this craft. It's kind of a waste of time. And the majority of the cost is actually coming from Deafening Essences of Woe. Because they're just really expensive right now. It's 18 Deafening Essence of Woe per div. At least it was last night when I was buying them. So we have our gloves here, and what do we need to do next? We need to get a double influence on them. So now we need to go find another set of gloves. And so we got Crusader influence. So here's my other search going here. And we need another pair of gloves that have Hunter. Just the cheapest pair of gloves that have Hunter, and they're not mirrored. I think this, I don't remember if this matters, but I'm gonna do this anyway. Not corrupted, not mirrored, blah blah blah. Okay, 10C, they're cheap. They're actually cheaper today than they were last night. Okay, that guy already took the trade, 10C. Grand Theft Auto Poison is his name. All right. All right, now we got that. Now things start to get a little expensive because we got to go buy an Awakener's Orb, and they are pricey. 6 div. Okay, and this is really important. We've got our good pair of gloves here, which, by the way, I feel bad wasting this money on the 20%er. I highly recommend you buy a higher percent because you're going to be spending if you're going to spend 45 div on this, you might as well spend 50. Does that make sense? You might as well spend 60 and get a good quality base, right? So I'm just doing this for the video. It's kind of wasteful. I'm sure someone will buy these gloves from me once I'm done crafting them, but we're going to go for it. So really important, Awakener's Orb. Do not hit the item you want it to land on first. I'll just say it this way, trash first, treasure later. However you want to think about that. This is the trash gloves, right? Then the treasure later. Now we have double influence on the pair we want to keep. Okay, so now we're good there. Okay, next thing we want to do here is we need to check the prefixes. Sorry, I said that way wrong. Now we need to spam essences, and this is going to be the annoyingly long part of the video, and I'm probably going to have to go buy a bunch more. So we're going to put Vol, or Val, however you want to pronounce that, and we're going to spam Deafening Essence of Woe until it lights up. I still had 40 left from last night, so I'm not buying any just yet, but I'm probably going to go drop 10 div in a second here to get this. Okay, ran out. Go over to my boy Faustus. Deafening. Whoa. And, oh! Hey, the ratio got a little bit better. Alright, going back. And I know you don't really need to put the gloves in this thing. I just kind of like it. I don't know why. It's a way to do it. It's not the only way to do it. But it is nice to be able to put the search there. And it lights up when you hit it. And I think the website says it's 1 in 250 to get it. And my experience last night was more like 1 in 100, I want to say, or maybe like 120 on average. So that means right now, when I'm telling you that I was getting above average last night, that it's going to be below average. It's going to take 400 while I'm talking to you here. Or I'm going to roll over it because I'm not paying enough attention. Have you guys ever done one of these and it lit up yellow and you accidentally kept clicking and it was like a really expensive, rare thing that you were waiting to get and then you accidentally rolled over it? I've been there multiple times. It's pretty frustrating. That's like I want to throw the keyboard across the room type of situation. How are we doing? Okay, we're down to 78. So we've gone through close to 200 already. So we should be seeing it soon. That doesn't make sense, but it kind of does. Math doesn't always math your way. Sometimes you click it like 2 times and it hits it, right? $28 left. Well, that was bad luck. Here we go again. Vol. So when I estimated the cost of the woes, I kind of had to just make up a number, to be honest with you guys. I'm estimating 30 div that you're going to spend on woes out of the 45. Because once you hit the thing we want here, it doesn't mean that it's over. You might have to do it, come back and do it 2 or 3 more times even, depending on how lucky or unlucky you are. Wow, this is very unlucky. This is not what a streamer's luck. I'm not a real streamer. That's probably why I don't have real luck here. You're a fake. You know what, guys? I think I know the problem. I think the problem is that the game says, hey man, you don't have enough sockets on those gloves. You need 4 sockets and they need to be linked. And now they'll be lucky. Okay, I made that up. It wasn't true. Wow, I really can't believe it. Oh, there we go. Didn't roll over it. Okay, so we got it. What's the next step? Well, are your prefixes full? 1, 2, 3. Yes, they are. So this is why it's a little painful, and it could be a lot more expensive than I even said. You have to annul the prefix off. So one trick that my buddy taught me is you can do this because of how expensive that was on those woes. Is attack modifiers cannot reroll attack modifiers, and you have a higher chance of not annulling the Vol Strike. You could still, of course, annul the maximum energy shield that you just put on there. And you do have to have an open suffix for this to even work. So if it's completely full, then you can't even craft that. But now we're going to annul. All right. Wish me luck. Got to get rid of that life. Nice. Okay. Good. So we got lucky on something. Now, if you would have hit right there, if that would have gone to maximum energy shield, the annul, then you would have to start over again. You'd have to go back to the essence, and you'd spam essences again until you get back to the same spot. And if you get full prefixes again, you have to do the same thing again. So obviously that can feel painful if you have bad luck, right? So now that we're at this state, though, we're in a good spot because we can move on to the big stuff, and we're pretty much in a really good place to have things go well our way. Now there is something that could go wrong still, and I might have to pause the video and ask my friend what to do. But we're gonna now do, I believe it's crafted modifiers, 3 crafted modifiers if I remember correctly. Yeah, I don't even have to look at my notes. I know what to do. So 2 div here. So this is expensive, but we need to do it. Okay, so we replaced what we had with this, right? And now we can do energy shield. Okay, and then we're also going to do prefixes can't be changed. So more money that we're spending. Okay. Now that we have this done, we get to move on to Veiled Chaos Orb. Okay. So we're going to go to Faustus because I don't have another Veiled Chaos Orb. Veiled Chaos Orb. And we're going to buy it in C because they are cheap. These are only 50 C. I can't believe it. Okay. And then we're going to hit it. We're going to see what does it land on. Okay, that's fine. And we need a block now before we do anything else. And what we want to block is focus, minion recover their life. We don't want this to pop up. So we're going to block that. All right, put it back in here. Right click it on Veil. And attack speed while focused. Beautiful. That's what we want. Okay. So now that we have that done, we go back to the crafting bench and we do crafted modifiers. So we're dropping another 2 div. Okay. And then we're going to do energy shield again. And we're going to do attack speed. And we're done. Look at that. 250 ES, attack speed, and focus attack speed, and additional 1 nearby enemy. So this is the cheap version. I think I ended up being under the 45 div, if I had to guess. Yeah, that's my guess is under the 45 div. Now, what could have gone bad, and I don't know what the statistics are on this, but I think when I did the Veiled Chaos Orb, Maybe there's a chance that I wouldn't have seen the attack speed, and then you would have to, I think prefixes can't be changed. Scour, I want to say, is probably what you need to do, and then recraft all the stuff over again. But that I've done this 3 times today, and all 3 times they did the attack speed while focused. So it must be a very high chance to see that. So these gloves are going to be for sale. This is the budget version. I'm going to put these up for sale right now for 100 div, which I think is a pretty fair price considering how frustrating it is to craft and how rare these gloves are in general. So 100 divine. Okay. Let's talk about the medium craft now. All right, so I'm gonna start crafting the mediums here, and I was gonna just explain and show you the video, but I decided I'm just gonna craft them from scratch, and I'm just gonna spend the money. I'm pretty done-ish with the league, and I've got tons of currency. I've been very lucky with sales and even gambles. I think I have a couple. Yeah, I still have 2 House of Mirrors sitting here that I gambled and hit big on. So I'm gonna buy a pair, a base. I'm gonna buy this. Well, this guy's saying sec. I offered him 10 div for a 28 percenter base here. Let's see what he says. But we're gonna do the same steps we did on the other pair, but it's gonna be a lot more expensive and a lot more complicated. And hopefully, hopefully one of you that watches this video is like, I don't want to craft these gloves. They look annoying, and I've got tons of money. Okay, he said 12. That's a good deal. Yeah, so maybe someone will be like, I just don't want to spend the time. I'm going to buy this guy's gloves. Or I end up having a bunch of these gloves for sale, and it doesn't really matter either way. Okay, so we got 28% gloves. You probably, I would recommend, if 29s are cheap, to even get 29 or even 30, depending on the prices. But 12 divs really not bad considering how much the craft's going to cost. This is probably worth it. I don't think these were, yeah, there's only 74. So we're going to want to Sacred Orb these. I like just having some extras in my bank, so I'm going to grab 12. 82 is good. I'll settle at 82. Okay, and I'm superstitious, so I put 4 sockets on it, link them. Okay, so we need to apply some influence, and I happen to have this Elder's Exalted Orb already. You can do Shaper, you can do Elder, whatever is the cheapest. I'm going to throw that on. Okay, and now we need to go to the Harvest Bench, and we need to re-roll until we, excuse me, burp, until we get Crusader or Hunter, which usually doesn't take too long. There we go, there's Hunter. Okay, so now that we have Hunter, we need to go get a pair of cheapy Crusader gloves. And so I have this thing that I'll also put on here, the search. I'll put that in the description. You can just click the one that you need, right? That should be easy enough for you guys to figure out. So 5C, 5C, 7C, 10C. These are cheap. Let's see if someone gets back to us real quick here. There we go. VHS, he wants 10C. Go Mercenaries were cheaper, but you know what? I'm just going to take the first guy. 10C, 5C, whatever. It's all the same. All right. So now we're going to go buy our Awakener Orb. Another one. Spent so much money on these, just making these videos. Okay, and then again, you hit the trash first, then the treasure. Okay, so now we got our gloves, and well, we don't have a lot of Essence of Woes left, but I might as well just use them and not buy any more until they're gone. Oh my gosh, I rolled over it. I'm an idiot. Oh man, that's painful. That's painful. I might not see it again for like 300. Ooh, Didn't roll over that time. Okay. Did we get full prefixes? We did not. Beautiful. Okay. So I need to look at my notes because this is the harder version. We have an open prefix and an open suffix, which is perfect. And I'm sorry that it's almost better to have gotten a bad version to show you guys what to do. But if you had not a note, you need an open prefix and an open suffix, and if you didn't get both of them, then you need to annul, which sucks because you're gonna hit the things that you don't want to hit. And remember, you can do if you have an open suffix but not an open prefix, you can do attack modifiers and you can annul and you can clean up your prefix to have an open prefix. Now, if you also get like a good prefix, then keep it. That's fine. You just need an open suffix now. But most likely you're not going to get like a T2 or T3 ES percent. Like that's really what you want. T1, T2, T3 ES percent is what you would want as your other prefix if it's not crafted. And okay, we need to do prefixes can't be changed. Okay. And then we're going to do reforge chaos because what we want is chaos dot multi. All right, here we go. Let's hope we get lucky. And we didn't. We got chaos resistance. And is that a prefix? Prefix. It's not. So all we did is right there is we re-rolled a suffix, which is fine because now we can just go back to the harvest bench, so the regular bench, and do prefixes can't be changed again, and go back and do the same thing again, which is convenient. Could have been worse. Okay, we did not get what we wanted again. We literally did the same thing. So we'll do it again. Prefixes can't be changed. Okay. And oh god, clicking wrong stuff. Chaos. And we got a junk prefix. Ugh. And we still didn't get chaos.multi. So this sucks. This is a bad place to be. And this is when like the craft starts to feel like overwhelmingly annoying because we have to literally annul off this cold damage to attacks now, and we'll probably annul off one of the things we want to keep, and then you have to essence spam again. But here we go. And there goes our non-veiled strike thing. So, well, we're gonna need to buy more woes here. But we have 13 left to get lucky. Okay, didn't get lucky. Ha! One left. Okay, so do we have open prefix? Prefix. T5ES. Ooh, it's not good enough though. It's really not. I hate to say it. Because crafted is up to 74. And you're probably gonna divine it up to 70-ish. So 50-ish just isn't gonna cut the mustard. So we're gonna have to do the attack thing and annul. And we might mess it up again, right? And let's see, we actually annulled off. So sometimes it's better to do this too. Throw a thing of annuls in your bag or whatever you want to call it. Attack mod. Okay, beautiful. We cleaned off what we wanted to clean. And now we do prefixes can't be changed again. And we're back to the harvest bench to chaos. And we got... Oh. We got a bad... So the good news about this, it's not good, but it's better than last time. We did not get the chaos dot multi, but the prefix it threw on here is life, which is not an attack modifier. So we can go back to this at least. It just gives us better chances of not hitting not messing up the item, basically. So here we go, and we cleaned it. Nice. Okay, so now we gotta do Prefixes can't be changed again. And we're going to do chaos. And what did we hit here? We got a hybrid bad roll with chaos resistance. Man, I wonder if chaos dot multi is actually rare. It's feeling like it is today, isn't it? Okay, we got to do the same thing. At least we have another good chance at cleaning it. But you can only get lucky so many times, right? So okay, we got to roll it again. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, we got lucky there. Do prefixes cannot be changed. We go. Wait. What just happened? I did something wrong. I'm glad I caught it. Prefixes cannot be changed. Maybe I just missed the button. We go back to here. We do chaos, and this is, you know what, guys, we're due. We're due. Chaos dot multi. I mean, really? Well, we didn't get a prefix this time, so we can go back to this and we can do prefixes cannot be changed. And we can go back. We can chaos. And we got chaos dot multi. Oh, okay, well, we got this hybrid, T2 hybrid. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but it's not what we want. And I think I'm gonna jinx this, but we have to get rid of it. So we have to clean it off, and we have to do the cannot roll attack modifiers again, and we have to annul. I hate doing this, and we're probably just gonna get rid of something that we don't want to get rid of, like maybe the chaos dot multi. But otherwise, you'd have to settle with that T2 hybrid, and it's not good enough. Yeah, there it just left. Okay, so now we're gonna get rid of it. Oh, so we lost our essence modifier. So that means we're back to the drawing board, guys. So we need to grab more of these. And it looks like the price must have gone up because no one's taking the trade. Yep. Well, guys, unfortunately, I'm out of time right now, and I still need to edit this video. But I need to get into my office to get to work. And so what I'm going to do is, instead of like live crafting all the steps on that pair of gloves I bought, I'll finish crafting those later off camera, and I'll put those up for sale if you want to look for them. But for those that want to craft along, I'm going to just show you what happens when you get to the point where you actually get the chaos dot multi. Okay, so this is from when I was working on this last night with David, who was kind of instructing me how to do it. And this pair, you can see it has the additional nearby enemy. It has the Essence of Woe flat ES, and then it has the Chaos dot multi. But it also has this pesky fire damage to attacks prefix, the added damage, and that has to be annulled. And you can't do the attack modifier thing because it is an attack modifier thing. So here we go. This is where I grabbed an annul, and I annulled, and I got lucky. Right? So something went well for me that time. I got rid of the fire to attacks, and now this is like the next steps you would need to do. So I'm looking at all the things that are left here. We've got two prefixes and two suffixes, and one of them being that regen thing, which we don't really need. I'm buying an Orb of Dominance for 11 divine, and just boom, hit it, and it's a 50-50. So I got lucky on the 50-50. I got the two additional nearby enemies, and now the chaos dot multi is gone, of course. Now, if you got really unlucky, I'm just going to stop the video to talk about this, but if you got really unlucky, what would happen is it would have hit the chaos dot multi and upgraded it instead, elevated it, I guess it's called. and then you're gonna have to go back to square one and go essence again and start the whole process over. As you can see, this can be really expensive. And this isn't even like the most expensive version. The pair of gloves that I'm wearing are probably, I shouldn't say probably, they just are more expensive and harder to get. And David, who crafted them for me, just got insanely lucky. He did it. He did it in like 5 minutes too. So, and I'm going to talk about that pair of gloves later. But this is what we do now. We do the crafted modifiers thing that we did last time. We do prefixes cannot be changed. We throw on the energy shield. Sorry, I didn't do the prefixes can't be changed yet. I kind of went in a weird order, but here we go. Now prefixes can't be changed. So now we have this. Now we're going to go buy a chaos veiled chaos orb for 50C, and I need to change it to C. Oh, this is, I'm actually talking to David right here. I'm like, wow, they're this cheap? He's like, yeah, buy it in chaos. I'm like, okay, there we go. Buy it in chaos. 49C. And I'm going to just hit it. And then I am going to, I think I'm just asking him, like, are you sure? I didn't want to mess it up. And he's like, yeah, just go ahead and hit it. So then, or slam it, either way you want to call it. And then I'm going to go block the minion recover thing, like I did on my other pair. And now I'm going to unveil it. And I'm going to get the focused attack speed. He was also mentioning that the 35 strength and int for certain people might be really good. Like some people might not want the attack speed. The int and strength could be huge. So now that we have this, we're going to go right back to the craft bench. We're going to do crafted modifiers again. This used to be called multi-mod back in the day. And then we're going to do the energy shield. And then we're going to do the attack speed. And we'll see that I will hit a nice 9% and 60%. Terrible. So I'm going to need to divine these. And boom, 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 boom. I'm divining them at certain points. I think this one I'm like, oh, that's pretty good, but I kind of wanted the attack speed a little bit higher, at least 10%. So I was watching the attack speed, so then I hit 10% there and wasn't good enough. And this 11 was not too bad. And then this 10 was even better. This had really good ES rolls. So 282, I felt like that's a good place to settle. And these are going to go up for sale right now for 200 div. So I'm going to pause this video, go back to the game. So that's this pair right here. So let's see what stash tab I had them in. I think this one right here. Yeah, so these are going up for sale. Man, I think maybe 250 because I've spent, I think I had 900 something divine. Yeah, I've spent 250 div just making this video, making these gloves. So I think considering how rare these mods are and how much work it is and how it's very frustrating to do this particular craft, I think 250 is actually a pretty good price. So anyway, there's a third upper echelon tier, the Uber tier of stuff. And you know, these gloves I'm wearing are probably in that tier, but these aren't even that good. But what that I'm not gonna do it. First of all, it's really expensive. But what the difference really would be is when I got to that orb of dominance, instead of doing the three crafted modifiers, you would be doing exalted orb and hoping that you hit something like this T2 increased energy shield. And then if you don't, you would be annulling. You'd probably be doing something like, cleaning things off with the crafted modifier stuff, but you'd have to be getting lucky and annulling. And then if you hit something again, you have to start over again, right? So I just don't think it's worth it, guys, to try to get a pair of gloves like this. I think David, when he made these gloves, he actually didn't even think about the multi-mod. And when we talked about it last night, he was like, or maybe it was this morning, he was like, wow, that's a good point. I think that's what he said at least. But yeah, you'd have to be doing more vision crafting, and then there's also a thing you could reforge defense until you get a high percent as the third suffix. So anyway, I don't even want to get into that, but that's going to be like you're probably spending a couple hundred div to try to get a pair of gloves like that. So for you crafting it in like maybe an hour or two of crafting time, depending on how fast you are. So I think this is a good place to end the video. I think that if someone really wants a pair that's that high end, um, feel free to just message me and I'll ask David if he can craft a pair and how much he'd charge. But expect a pair of gloves like that to be like 500 divine. That's what I would say. That's my guess. Maybe more. Um, you know, there's it's not. I don't think you can even mirror them. Maybe you could. So anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. I would assume that I'll finish this other pair of gloves, the ones that are sitting here not done again. Maybe I'll finish those tonight, and so theoretically, when I finish that pair of gloves, I'll have two pair with the two additional nearby enemies, and then these two pair with the one that are a lot cheaper. And that's it. Wow. I hope this is going to be a long video. I hope it helped at least one person out there. All right. Thanks. Bye.